104.1 KRBE, a Cumulus media station.
Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the TXU Energy Studio.
The Roula and Ryan Show with producer Eric, Special K, and Sam.
I'm sure there are so many people out there that would love to talk to a real live human being from Centerpoint.
Yes, not a tweet, not a hotline with a recording, nothing that's non-human. An actual human from Centerpoint is going to be on the show in about 20 minutes to talk about what's happened with the storm, and for those of you who are still without power, and try and give you some insight. Okay, so we're going to do that in about 20 minutes, but now it's time for this.
Now, it's time for Roula and Ryan's Revenge.
For the truly wronged, sometimes all you have left is revenge.
104.1 KRBE.
All right, parental advisory definitely in effect because
we just
it
never know.
gets heated sometimes.
I mean, we can't trust Eric anymore. We don't really know why we let him do this.
I don't blame Eric. I think a lot of it is sometimes he gets sandbagged.
Just saying. Eric's like, are you sure you want to do that?
He's too
Are you
trusting.
sure?
Or depends what kind of mood I'm in.
And then I'm like, are you sure, Eric? Let's just welcome
Astros
Danielle
game
and see
last
what
night
she's all about.
sucked. I'm not in a
oh
good
my
mood,
God,
so.
yes, the Astros last night. Come on, what happened there? Anyway, let's focus on Danielle. She's standing by. Let's welcome her now. Good morning, Danielle.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Danielle.
Are you in the bathroom?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I am not.
Oh, it's
Okay.
that internet-sounding phone thing
I
again.
didn't think it was that echoey. It just sounds like a FaceTime call.
It's weird how every third call we get that comes into KRBE, we get that weird
It's our
sound.
phone system.
Yeah, it is. So, Danielle, who are you trying to get revenge on?
I'm trying to get revenge on, my soon-to-be ex-boss, I would say higher up. His name is Justin. He's just the worst.
All right. What kind of, office do you work in?
I don't work in an office. I work at a bar/axe-throwing place.
Of the axe-throwing places that exist, this guy was your, quote, boss/coworker, you said, right?
Yeah. So I've been working there for about 6 weeks now, and things, when I started, went really well, but Justin asked me out on a date, and I turned him down. I didn't want to go. I just wanted to keep things professional at work. And ever since then, he has just started to give me the crap of the crap jobs and duties to do at work.
Well, that sounds like an HR issue, honey.
Do you have proof that you could tell HR? I mean,
I can definitely go to the owner, but as far as I know, we're not big enough to have an HR department.
that's true. I guess
Small businesses.
that's a good point.
Yeah, how are you reacting to that retaliation?
That's why I'm calling you guys, because I would love to kind of humiliate him and tell him how he's been messing with him to come back, because I'm getting ready to quit.
Oh, so he's made it so uncomfortable that you're going to quit this place.
Yeah, I mean, I go to school part-time, and I've intentionally said I can't work these days, and he keeps giving me shift on the days that conflict with my school schedule. And it's my responsibility to switch shifts or to get those shifts covered. And I keep him like, hey, I have school, I have this conflict I've let you know about. And he's like, sorry, you need to make yourself available to continue to work here. Or when I'm working there, I'm on trash duty and bathroom duty, all the time.
So he really did give you the crappy jobs.
Yeah, he really did.
Okay, so that's all we need to know until we get him on the phone.
Yeah, let's just talk to
He'll have
him.
no idea that you even have these issues. I don't know how he's going to act. He has not heard what you've told us, but he is on hold.
He just thinks I'm going to promote his business.
Oh, good times. Justin, hi. Welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show. Thanks so much for being available to be on the phone with us today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Justin. So on Tuesdays, we like to let people kind of air out their grievances.
It's not kind of. We definitely have somebody that knows you, Justin, that came to our show and asked us to call you. Her name is Danielle, your coworker.
Hey, Justin, how are you?
Hey, Danielle. I'm good. How are you?
I mean, ever since you asked me out on a date, your employee, I've just gotten really awful shifts that you have put on my back to get taken care of. You've given me really horrible jobs to do when I'm working. And I'm just not putting up with it anymore. And I think it's disgusting that you're taking advantage of the people that you work with. So I'm quitting.
Whoa, that's all in your head.
Wait, hold on. Whoa, what now, Justin? What'd you say?
Yeah, I asked her out. It's her loss, and it's too bad she's leaving.
Justin, it sounds to us like, you were kind of got your feelings butt hurt. She turned you down, and now she's having to do all these lousy shifts.
Yeah, no, that's just how the schedule works out.
Smart play, man. I would be saying that too.
Deny.
Hell yeah. Why would you go on the Real and Ryan show and say, yeah, I do that on purpose? She wouldn't be with me.
Ever since she turned you down, she feels there's been an aggressive environment.
Is it true that you put an apple on her head and threw an axe?
Oh, God, that did not happen. Danielle, why don't you fill us in? What's going on here?
Justin, I feel like I've noticed you and our other coworkers have noticed you noting that you had to stay late. Do you remember that the last couple of 2 weeks or so?
Yeah, like it's happened a few times. I've had to stay like an extra hour.
Oh, man, that sucks. And that's because you're having to do the reports to the operating manager, right?
Yeah.
So what I did, because Justin has made my life a living hell working there, is I went in and logged into the computer and put in the wrong password. And if you do it 3 times, it locks you out of the system.
Uh-oh.
So I just accidentally been putting in the wrong password. Sorry.
Dude, what?
Man, yeah, I just, in between the times of scrubbing the toilets and having to do all the back bar work, I just logged into the computer and I forgot your password. And I just, logged you out.
That's the worst when you get locked out.
Nah, but
The worst is when you can't remember your own
password. You
every day.
Password,
what did we say last week or a couple weeks ago? When you forget the password and then you get a new one and then they go, nope, you can't use that one. Already been used. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you're like,
It drives you nuts.
That was the actual password.
I didn't remember it.
You'd think we work for the Pentagon with our passwords here.
Well, every company
Anybody's
is
like that now.
Yeah.
That's very well played.
Actually, you probably shouldn't have told him.
I mean, it's going to stop once I leave, unless the other employees don't like what he's doing. Maybe they'll figure out something.
No, she wants them to know that, hey, look, I'm the one that took this time from you.
That's true. Yeah, you wasted my time. I'm going to waste your time.
Good job.
You know what? I missed a date because of that.
Well, she can thank me later.
Oh.
And listen, Justin, if you're going to deny it, that's fine. But we're not going to dismiss that she is quitting her job because you made it uncomfortable for her. She was excited to work there. She likes where she works. And because you got denied, she's uncomfortable now because you make it uncomfortable.
Whatever. Well, at least for all this crap, I think I should be able to at least promote my business.
Okay.
You really want
Go
us to
ahead.
know where you work and this is how you're acting?
Oops.
There it is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ryan's fat finger,
Justin,
hit the wrong button.
We got disconnected.
Darn.
Well, Danielle, that's a really good way to go with that one, where you just made him crazy with the password fails.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I know that there's other jobs that are out there, but I actually have another job set up, which is why I kind of felt confident to move on from this one. But I so appreciate you guys and your listeners.
That is so smart. You never leave a job until you have something lined up already to take its place.
Thanks a lot for listening to the show, Danielle. Take care. Good luck, okay?
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
How about this text? My son's deadbeat turkey baster is named Justin. What's with this name? Must be a Justin thing.
I'm sure there's some great Justins out there.
Yeah.
Sure. Verlander.
Isn't that funny how one person can just ruin a
Ruin
name?
a name. Poor Karen. I mean,
I know.
that
And
sucks
I actually-
if you know a really nice Karen.
I do. I know 2 really nice
Are you being a
Karens,
Karen? Yes, I
and,
am. I'm
they
really
hate it.
nice.
I'm really nice. I know. And even in the culture of our tweens, Eric, they know what Karen means.
I know. It sucks.
Being a Karen.
That just means there's going to be no Karens that are born the next
There'll be a,
I know.
3
They're gonna,
years.
that name is on
be a
pause.
big, long pause.
And
Yeah.
then 2 generations later, we're going to bring back Karen. Whatever happened to Karen?
Yeah. It's
We're gonna
like
bring
so
that name back.
retro.
Yeah, it's really cool. What is a name that you don't hear anymore? Like Dottie or
Gertrude.
Like Jane. Are there Janes? I think there are Janes. Jane's good. But what's a retro
Something
name?
in the
I'm thinking
90s.
the 50s, 50s
80s.
TV shows.
Howard.
What were the names of TV shows?
You don't hear a lot of
50s moms?
Howards.
I don't know. I'm having a brain fart. Like black and
How
white.
about Chads?
50s
Are there many
TV
Chads
shows.
left?
Chad.
I know Chads in the
Chad.
80s, 90s.
I just think of
Chad was
Acapulco
really big.
on Apple
Yeah, Chad.
TV.
Yeah,
Chad
Chad
was
Acapulco.
90s,
I think that's
2000s.
got cut up in
Yeah.
Acapulco.
Chad is like my age. Like
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. 80s, 90s. I heard it, but I
Yeah.
don't hear it. I don't see a little kid named Chad now.
Chad.
Are there a lot of
Brad.
Donnas? Is there a Donna that's been born recently at Texas Women's or
yeah.
Texas Children's Women's Million? How
Yeah,
many
when you're
Donnas
looking
were
down
born?
at this beautiful little baby and you're
Donna
thinking,
and Walter.
what do I want to call it? I'm going to call you
Walter.
Walter. Beautiful baby,
That's
Walter.
it's funny because it
gotta be
sounds like a
because of
grandpa
family.
name
So
for an infant.
mature.
Family names, that's why.
And then
Yeah.
do you call them Wally while they're short, like they're young for short?
My wife's friend,
Hey, Wally.
she had a baby, and she showed me a picture of the kid's like 3 months old. I'm like, man, that kid looks like an accountant.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like a grown man. He was
Already wearing a
destined to
suit.
be
you know,
no
they're skinny in their
nonsense.
face. Kind of
Based
like,
on the name.
Yeah.
just their his
funny.
look.
Yeah.
Like the kid looks like he should be working at H&R Block or something.
People are throwing me. Look, people are throwing me all the 50s names now. Pearl, Betty, Edna.
Oh,
These are
yeah,
not names
Edna.
that are coming around anymore.
smart.
There's my beautiful baby Edna.
My little Pearl.
We have a P1, a primary listener, listen to me, whose name is Edna, and she writes to me at least once a week to tell me what day it is. It's National ... Day.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes.
Well,
I thought you were going to
Edna.
say
Forward
it's
those,
Tuesday.
Kev. That could be my spotlight.
I know, Sam's spotlight, courtesy of Edna.
Come on,
Thank you.
Edna.
Email Sam.
Email me.
If you are just tuning in, you're just waking up here on the Roula and Ryan Show, and you are still sweating because you have no power. We have an actual human from Centerpoint. It's going to be on the show next to give us the status of things. My power returned last night at 7 o'clock, and I realized only to my side of the street, not the other half.
That's even better. You can flex.
And then my friends that are staying with me,
I'd
same
be
with
turning
them.
stuff on purpose.
Their
Blenders.
neighbors have power. They don't have power. So it's very difficult as we navigate these post-crazy storm days. We'll talk to Centerpoint next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
I believe it was 5 days ago that straight line storm just hit Houston.
Which now
took
I
out
found out is
so
called
many power.
derecho. In Spanish, it means straight. But I saw this grid. Maybe it came up on y'all's Instagram or y'all's social media channels about the things that we've survived.
Mm-hmm.
Derecho, I guess, if you're not a Spanish speaker.
Oh.
It's a straight line storm.
2015, we had the Memorial Day flood. 2016, we had the Tax Day flood. 2017, we had Harvey. 2019, there was Tropical Storm Imelda. 2020, there was Tropical Storm Beta. I don't remember this other than COVID, the chaos of that. Maybe I missed it. 2021, the grid collapsed due to the freeze. 2022, extreme summer heat and the drought. 2023, the hottest summer on record. And 2024, it says derecho.
Don't put Roula in charge of our
D-R-E-C-H-O.
tourism marketing.
Every
Come
year.
on down to Houston. There you go.
You're
I'm
liable to
saying
hit
that's
one
right.
of those.
That's what I saw on socials, and I know that a lot of people who are joining us here on the Roula and Ryan Show, like yesterday, we had Mary call in, and she said that we are her only source of any information because she has no power, she has nothing, and that she just listens to the radio on this old analog radio they found, and that's how they can catch KRBE.
With batteries.
We wanted to talk to somebody human because so many times now it's very hard to find a human, and we want to know what is happening and give you some insight, especially if you are without power here on the Roula and Ryan Show. The last one to not have power is Special K. He does not have power yet. I got power last night, but only on half my street. The other half doesn't have
Where'd you
it.
live, Kev?
I live in the Heights, and that's where that derecho straight line just creamed us. The house across the street is flattened on the ground. I'm
it's a
so
lot
very
of
lucky.
Down power lines is what you're seeing.
Yes, I have all of my delivery lines and my home connection lines are all on the ground in my backyard.
Wow. Well, Logan Anderson hopefully can give us some insight. Logan Anderson is the Texas Senior Communications Specialist for Centerpoint Energy, born and raised Houstonian, and joining us now. Good morning, Logan.
Good morning. I am excited to be here with you guys.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you for
Morning.
being here with us. How many people now are without power? That number, you guys really took it down fast.
Yeah, so I'm looking at our most up-to-date numbers right now, and it is showing that right now we have a little bit over 140,000 customers who remain out.
140,000.
So,
Which is still crazy because there's a lot of cities that's all they have is 140,000 people.
But
a whole city.
at its height, how many people lost their power initially?
so at its height, more than 920,000 people lost their
crazy.
power.
And we were saying, Logan, off the air, how, yesterday, especially on the air, we were talking about often on the air, how hard the linemen are working that have come in from all these other states to help get these power lines up. But when you're trying to repair a transformer that doesn't have the nerve center tower working, the transformer can be fixed, but you still won't have power because that nerve center tower in Cypress or wherever that was in NOF 99, we saw them all like toppled over. What's the update on those? Or what can you say to people who saw transformers getting repaired and they still don't have power?
So a couple of different things. The first is that I can tell you I am a lifelong Houstonian, but this is my first time as a Centerpoint employee experiencing a storm. I've been with the company about 6 months, and the linemen are the hardest working people I have ever met. I have had the chance to interact with so many people out in the field over the past couple of days. And these crews are the most dedicated. They are completely in on making sure that we are doing everything we can to get Houston back up and running and get the lights on. And that doesn't just include our Centerpoint employees. That also includes the 5,000 mutual aid assistance workers who have come in from other utilities and other states.
Oh, wow.
We've had 5,000 people come in. And honestly, one of the most remarkable parts of this process for me has been to see the logistical planning that takes place when you put out the call for aid. Because Thursday night, as we realized the impact of the storm, and something I do want to note that the team has emphasized for me is that we have seen Category 2 hurricane-like winds. And the last time we saw that kind of damage on the system was with Hurricane Ike. And with Hurricane Ike, the team is telling me that they had about 2 weeks, 10 days out to plan. With this, we got about 15 minutes of warning.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I know, because Logan, we were saying that even as longtime Houstonians, there are a lot of storms we've been through, but this one took everybody by surprise.
We thought it was
just
gonna be
a
rain.
rainstorm.
Yeah.
So you have 15
it
minutes to
was
figure out the
shocking.
plan of, oh my God, almost 1 million people are out of power.
Now, Logan.
So what does that have to do with those towers that fell over? Like, what's the update of those towers we've seen on the news so much?
What I was going to say about the towers is I was out there a couple of days ago, and remarkably, incredibly, thanks to the mutual assistance workers who come in, do their mandatory rest period, and then because we have so many people, we're able to work in shifts. Those transmission towers are standing. They have been standing for 2 days now. They got them all the way, but they completely rebuilt them from the ground up. And it's incredible to see. The teams, the way the mutual assistance works is once they come in, they get onboarded. They have a mandatory 8 hours of rest. And then we're able to train them, get them their safety equipment, and hit the ground running. And so thanks to that, we have been able to have people round the clock, 24 hours a day in shifts out doing repairs.
What does a nested outage mean?
A nested outage?
A nested outage. A lot of people getting that alert that it's a nested outage.
Yeah, so a nested outage is something that happens based on the fact that our system is so smart and so up to date. So the way our system works currently is there are little devices basically near every transformer or placed strategically along different points in the line, and they'll communicate with our system. So by the time your power goes out, we have an alert usually before you have an alert. But when the system takes such heavy damage, it's unable to send as much information back to us. And so a nested outage is what happens when we're able to restore a larger part of the system, maybe a circuit, maybe a transformer, maybe it's even an individual line to a home. But there is still an issue that we have not been able to identify that is preventing that home from taking power. So it means that we've restored the larger outage, but there is a smaller outage nested within it. And people who are experiencing nested outages, who have gotten a notification that their power has been turned back on, but are still sitting in the dark, should reach out to us, because right now we are dispatching crews to try to fix those issues. And so we are urging people to get in contact with us.
Because you need to know if you're in a pocket where it didn't actually hit. Let me ask you a question.
Exactly.
By the way, let me reintroduce you, Logan, because people are tuning in all the time. Logan Anderson is speaking to us from Centerpoint Energy. She's giving us some insight on what's happening with these pockets of power that we're getting back, and then some people don't have it. Where should people contact you if they are in a zone where they got the alert? Hey, you got power, but they're like, nah, our house is still dark. Where do we go for that?
Yeah, so people should call us at 713-207-2222 to report a nested outage. And I am going to urge people not to tie up the line, because we are still doing emergency dispatch, and we are trying to get as many people on as quickly as possible. But we do need to know where those nested outages are taking place, so please reach out.
Special K has a question for you, Logan. He's the one on the show that still has no power. He's in the Heights.
My question is, since I have actual power lines laying in my yard, one of them is the delivery line and the other two are house connection lines. My fear is that when they power up the rest of the neighborhood, will those lines come alive and start arcing in my driveway?
Oh, man, that's scary.
That is a very, very scary prospect, and we would hope not. We do urge you, if you see any down lines, stay 35 feet away and immediately call Centerpoint at 713-207. Have you been getting close to the power line?
Listen, they fell on my truck. And
wow.
Yeah, and so they're laying across my truck, and I have testers out the wazoo because I do construction on the side. So I went close to it and ran my tester across it, and they were dead. So I backed my truck away from it.
Most
and
people
then,
don't just go
I
up
know,
to it.
And then we cut the
don't
trees.
do that.
Okay, wait. There's one more thing that a lot of people need to know, and you can back me up on this. On top of all of our houses, there's a little pipe that comes out where the electricity connects to. If anyone has that pipe damaged, you want to explain what they need to do?
Absolutely. So if you have damage, and the pipe that he's talking about is called your weatherhead. It's a place where power enters your home. And so if you have damage to your weatherhead, we are not able to safely re-energize your home until that has been repaired by a licensed electrician.
Wow.
That's
So we have
on you. That's on us.
Yeah.
We've got to hire an
No,
electrician.
is it?
Yes. It's
Okay.
on me. It's on
How
me.
do I know if I have a damaged weatherhead?
You can
I
see
can't
it.
see up there.
No, you see.
Oh,
You can see
everybody
it.
can
If
see
it's
it?
knocked over.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
bent.
Yeah, it's a big pipe that sticks out the top
Stuff
of
you
your
might never notice, but
roof,
you
and
see
it
it.
connects to the lines on the tower. I'm sorry, on the not telephone pole, power lines behind your house.
So then, Logan, if I have a damaged, what's it called again?
Weatherhead.
And I contact an electrician and he tells me, well, I can't get out there to fix that for like 4 days. Maybe my street would get power, but then I just won't because that weatherhead is damaged.
You need
correct?
to keep calling electricians, Roula.
Yeah. Well, it's not for
Well,
me.
so-
I'm just saying somebody listening.
A lot of people are texting. They want to know, Logan, why we can't bury the lines in Houston, or is it too expensive, or is it because our ground
Because
sucks?
this is going to happen again and again.
Like I know other countries, my father-in-law was saying that when the countries he worked in, that they buried everything. Why can't we do that here?
That's a really good question. And part of the system in Houston is undergrounded. In case people didn't know, downtown's infrastructure is underground. And so if you ever see downtown lit up after a storm, it's not because they got restored first. It's usually because they didn't experience as heavy of an outage, apologies, as other areas did. However, not only is undergrounding very expensive and not feasible in some areas because of for various reasons. But undergrounding, when a system is underground, that means that it is actually underground, and it is like a big grid. So our system has gotten very smart. We can do a lot of things with our above ground lines communicating with our computer systems. But when there is an issue with an underground system, a human person has to go out and repair it, and it takes much longer. So if we underground the lines, it does make repairs a lot more difficult when issues do come up. And that is not to discount that it is also very, very expensive. And, there are ways that we can improve, and we have been improving the resiliency of our above ground infrastructure. It's just hard to prepare for Category 2 like storms that happen in a 15-minute
the medical
period.
center, like the medical center, like Greenway Plaza area, those they seem to never really lose power. Is it
So
because
the medical center is identified as an area of critical care. And so, they're in the middle of life-saving surgeries.
Right.
They're in the middle of
is that underground too?
No, so the medical center is not underground, but it is on a system that does get back up as quickly as possible.
Cool.
Okay. That's good to know.
So if you
as
have a
they
house,
should.
try and get one near the medical center.
Yeah, I guess on that grid. And I guess the way the grids work, that map really irritated a lot of people, Logan, when people couldn't figure out what the map is even covering. And somebody had asked, you guys are texting so fast. I missed that one. Somebody had a question about being in the gray area of the map. Does that mean they're just not in there anymore?
Yeah, SOL.
What happens if you're in the gray? Does that mean they think we have power and we don't?
So, and we understand people's frustration with the map. And for those that don't know, the reason that we had the map was because our usually very up-to-date and very detailed outage tracker website was getting an insane amount of traffic. At a certain point, we had more than 700,000 hits in 1 hour.
Oh, wow.
That's not something that we're used to. And so we had to immediately stop and figure out what is the best way we can communicate with customers. We had to, pull people into a team to immediately try to get as much information out as we can. And we were able to get more and better data as time went on. So I know that the first map was not as detailed as people would want. After that, we were able to send out 4 kind of quadrant maps with more detailed information. And now we've been able to get even more detailed information. Yeah. But the map is still not a one-to-one.
No, I think, Logan, a lot of people wanted,
go ahead.
They wanted to have an app where they can say, hey, here's my address. When's my power coming back on?
Logan, you've learned a lot in 6 months.
No kidding.
Listen, you have to learn on the job. It's very complicated, but it's also, the reason that I was so excited about this job is because what could be more empowering than actually turning the power on for people.
Yeah.
The work that Centerpoint is doing has been fantastic, and it's been quite a learning experience over the past 6 months, but I have really, really enjoyed my time, and I'm glad to be here and talk about the great work that
I hope we
doing.
don't. I mean, I like talking to you, but I hope we don't have to talk to you for
this reason again.
hurricane season.
Yeah.
When was the last time we talked to you for this type of stuff? For
Yeah,
emergencies?
hopefully, but
Well,
it's not if, it's when, Eric, unfortunately. We might talk to Logan again, but Logan, a lot of people are, sending us texts at 37530 saying, can you thank her for what they're doing and let the linemen know that people do appreciate it, but it is getting really dicey now for a lot of people who don't have power because they're just so frustrated and they feel like maybe they've been forgotten, but I'm going to say it for you. Rest assured, they have not forgotten you.
They got it down from 920,000 to 120.
To how many now? 120?
140.
Logan, what was that number again?
A little over 140.
Okay. The number again Logan gave out is 713-207-2222. 713-207-2222. That's where you're going to call if it looks like the power's on in your area, but you don't actually have power in your house. And we learned a lot today. Thanks a lot, Logan. We appreciate you guys making time for us. We talked to a human at Centerpoint. Have a great day, Logan. Thanks a lot.
You too. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye. Coming up next, AI versus humans. Scarlett Johansson versus ChatGPT.
Uh-oh.
She has taken them down when it comes to sounding like her. We'll give you the updates next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
From Hollywood to H-Town
Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop.
on KRVE.
The Battle of AI. Remember when there was that huge strike for all the actors and the union because they did not agree on how they were getting paid for their work and their talent and their ideas and their creativity when it came to streaming and all these different platforms? Well, the new battle is the battle of the bots, right? AI takes over. And where does the voice come from for the woman or man robot equivalent? Where is that voice? Well, Scarlett Johansson had a problem with ChatGPT because they have a voice that sounds like her. She was shocked. She was angered after hearing it because she denied ChatGPT's offer to pay her to use her voice, and they just did it anyway.
Oh, that's not cool.
Last week, they introduced a voice called Sky. It basically sounds like her from the movie Her, where she plays the robot with Joaquin Phoenix. And she called in the lawyers. They got it taken down. OpenAI is the company that owns that, and they insist the voice is not an imitation. Sidebar. And side eye. I'm just rolling my
I'd like
eyes.
to hear it.
Because, they would say, well, it's not exact. That's not you exactly. But anybody who'd hear it would think it is because of her deep, raspy voice. She says she was contacted last September by the CEO, Sam Altman, to provide her voice, and she declined it for personal reasons. When she heard the released demo, she was angered and shocked, so she's already had it taken down. And she said that Mr. Altman even insinuated that the similarity was intentional, saying that he even referenced her voice from the movie Her. So that's where she got him.
What's so scary about this is it's getting really realistic, and we're in the infancy of this. I saw, Eric, I think I sent you this. It was on Instagram. There's a guy who did AI. He's a scientist. He's written books, and he programmed all his information into an AI simulator, and it looks human. Looks exactly like him. You could not tell the difference between the real person versus the AI. Yeah, and he's arguing with the AI version of himself. This is going to be crazy. They'll get to a point where they don't need actors. They don't need anybody. They can just basically clone them.
Yeah, and then people are saying it's by OpenAI, not ChatGPT.
The ChatGPT voice is owned by OpenAI?
That's just like you
type
in stuff. And
it says OpenAI introduced a ChatGPT voice.
I don't know.
Yeah, ChatGPT.
OpenAI is the one I know it can take your photo and make you look like. I
don't know.
You need resume photos, and they'll make you look all nice.
I didn't know if that was like the parent owner of ChatGPT, OpenAI.
And a lot
like
of them, they will approach people. I told you my daughter is a voice actress, and they wanted her to sign a deal like, okay, we own your voice forever. And she's like, hell no.
Also, Kevin, years ago when you first started doing robocalls, remember in the evolution of your robocall, there's when you do talk to text, there's actually a video behind the scenes when Kevin's doing his prank calls. It's like a robotic guy who's just like sitting there real weird, like a gamer.
It looks
like he's just looking
animated,
side to side
CGI.
in a business suit, and he's looking real weird, like side to side, and he's talking.
Yeah,
Like
you,
a- like
you
a
type in the
human.
words and then his mouth starts to move. So they've
creepy.
updated it. Now they have dogs that talk now.
They have dogs?
instead of
Oh,
a
how
man
cute.
talking, it's a little doggy.
I'm not a cat. I'm here, but I'm not a cat.
I'm a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer. I'm
That
not a
was
cat.
so funny.
Real quick, I want to do an update on this. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, how Puff Daddy released a video of apology to Cassie from the 2016 assault, where he initially said she's a money grubber, she's lying, blah, 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 blah. Now that the video of the hotel was released, which, by the way, we asked yesterday during Scoop, why did the video come out now in 2020?
Who released it?
Because apparently whoever he had made a deal with, because allegedly he paid $50,000 for that video to never see the surface, that window of time has expired, and that's why it got released. That was the word yesterday. But there's an attorney named Ben Chu who chimed in on what a mistake it was for P. Diddy to even be on video apologizing for this, because in essence, it's not defendable now. Here's what he said.
I would not have had my client give a statement on the heels of the release of that video. And I certainly wouldn't have had him release that statement, because I think it will be fodder for future examinations and deposition testimony, none of which is going to be good for Mr. Combs. He's just thrown out the window any potential objection to the authenticity of the video. Also, I think what he said was really not helpful at all. Being intoxicated is only a defense to certain specific intent crimes like first-degree murder. So saying that he was drunk doesn't help him legally, undercuts the sincerity or apparent sincerity of any apology. But what really struck me as disingenuous was he said he was disgusted at the time of 2016. Well, if he really were disgusted by his actions back in 2016, why did he wait until 2024 to come clean?
Yeah.
He not only did he deny them, but he called her essentially a money grubber, that this was all a desire for a payday. That doesn't sound like somebody who's disgusted with himself.
So Cassie, you don't get it.
He's disgusted
You'll
that
be
he
redeemed.
that he got
caught.
released.
And I
Exactly.
think he's got bigger fish to fry too. This is just the surface
I think it is.
of
nuts.
what's to come.
We got to wait and see on that.
And
Hey, yo. Time for KRBE's Roula and Riot Show to tell you what's going down.
Wait, real quick. Why you're sad for?
because I grew up listening to and jamming to P. Diddy, Bad Boy. You know, coming from the East Coast, Philly, New York. I mean, that's what we had, and it was such a huge part of my youth. And now it's like
tainted.
It's all marred up.
It's tainted. It's
tarnished,
marred.
yeah.
And
Totally tainted.
Yeah,
And I-
because you'll think
So you
about
can't
what a
enjoy it.
horrible
Like, you
person
want to
he is.
enjoy it, but you can't even.
can't celebrate it.
Like if you're at a DJing at a wedding, would you play it?
I don't know if they
How about
request
right
it.
now?
And, you know, I was wondering why he gave everyone their rights to the music back, because he owned all of, Bad Boy stuff, but he gave out all the publishing to all of his artists, gave it out to them.
Open it
now
and
I
keep
know
them?
Now
to
you
keep
know.
them silent.
Yeah.
Probably. How about some good news here? Fort Bend County is home to the second fastest growing city in America. This is according to the Census Bureau data. Fulshere's population grew 25.6% last year. I've got friends that live out there, and it's beautiful.
Bragging.
San Antonio actually topped the list.
Friends.
Other, I have friends there.
I got friends in low places.
I got friends.
Low places.
Sugar Land and Atascocita in Montgomery County also have been ranked amongst the fastest growing cities in the country. Now, here's something
Any friends
interesting.
there?
No,
Do you know where that is? Have you
no,
been there?
actually, I do have friends in Sugar Land.
I know where that is. I know exactly where that is. No one cares.
We're talking about news where you
How about this? Only half the adults in our great state of Texas were actually born here. The number of adults born in other countries or in California has exploded in recent decades. In 2022, Texas welcomed 668,000 newcomers, with the largest group of them coming from California. 102,000 Californians moved to Texas. The state population has surpassed 30 million, and its growth is amongst the fastest in the country. And finally, this is something, if you're a gun owner, you need to hear this. Houston leads the state in the number of gun thefts from cars. In Houston, more than 3,300 firearms were stolen from vehicles in 2022. The rise in vehicle gun theft has coincided with the increase in gun ownership. That's adults carrying guns in public. Texas allows open carry for gun owners to keep them in their vehicle without a permit. I'm telling you, if you're a responsible gun owner, never leave your gun in the car, ever. People follow you from the gun range because they want to break in and steal it. So make sure you take that thing home, lock it up, put it in a safe. That's what's going down in H-Town.
Coming up next, Try It Tuesday.
All right.
And today it's courtesy of Eric's daughter Ava and my daughter Alexandra and my other daughter Lenny, who found this interesting, unique item and said, y'all should do this on Try
I
It
like
Tuesday.
that they're all shopping together, and then they start thinking of things for us to use on the show.
That's cool.
I'm not excited.
This is
She's not about the fact they're shopping, but the fact that they found this.
I'm jealous that they're shopping, and I'm mad they found this.
they found they went to Five Below, which kids
Okay,
love.
yeah.
They found cotton candy flavored ranch.
Ugh.
Gross.
You mean ranch flavored cotton candy?
Yeah,
Because
and
it's not
then-
ranch dressing, it tastes like cotton candy.
Well, that'd be
Cotton
good.
candy tastes like ranch.
And then spicy jalapeno cotton candy.
Spicy
we've
jalapeno
tried-
sounds good.
We've tried the pickle brand of this, and it was horrific. It was horrific. The pickle
I
cotton
can't wait.
candy was vomitous.
It's not open, so we'll just open it and you
Grab
can
a-
smell it.
and then
fork or
we'll
something,
mix them
pull some
together,
out.
mash them
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Spicy jalapeno ranch cotton candy.
You're sick, Roula. You're sick.
Okay, I'll put myself out there and I'll try those together. I'll
We'll
throw myself.
then we'll all be sick.
We'll hear it. We'll try it next on the Roula and Ryan Show.